Now, as mentioned, material app then also needs an input value though, because like this material app thing doesn't provide too much information to Flutter and to run app regarding what should be displayed on the screen. Instead, you must pass more information to material app so that that information will then indirectly also be picked up by Flutter. And for that, between those parentheses here, which belong to material app, you must provide some input value to material app. And that input value is now all about defining what should be shown inside of that app UI that will be displayed on the screen. And for this, material app also takes an input value, a parameter, though not a parameter that would be defined like this, as it's the case for run app, a so-called positional parameter, or positional argument, because here for run app, the first value you pass to run app is used as a value for the first parameter in this parameter list. And of course, run app only takes one parameter, but other functions could also take multiple comma-separated parameters, and then values would be passed in and matched by position. So the first value provided to a function when calling that function would be mapped to the first parameter, the second value to the second parameter, and so on. That's one way of accepting and receiving parameters in Dart. But an alternative way, which you will also learn in greater detail later, is to define functions that take so-called named parameters or named arguments. When defining the function, you wrap those parameters between curly braces, and again, that is also something you will learn about later in the course in greater detail, and which you will do a lot throughout the course. But in the code where you define a function, you would wrap those named parameters between curly braces. And the difference compared to positional parameters or arguments is that now it's not important in which order you pass values to the function when you call it. Instead, you identify those parameters by their name. And that's exactly how material app is implemented internally in the end. There you have a long list of named parameters, as you can tell by this opening curly brace and that closing curly brace thereafter, that wrap all those parameters. And those parameters are then simply identified by name. Now regarding super and this, these are all things we'll learn about throughout the course, but this material app thing which you can execute in the end is defined by using named arguments internally. And as a developer, it's up to you whether you want to use positional or named arguments when defining a function. When using it, you of course have to use what has been defined in there. And here for material app, it's this home named argument that has to be set to display something on the screen. And if you type here, you of course also get suggestions. Even without typing, if you press Ctrl space, you'll get a list of suggestions. And here you in the end see all these named arguments that you could possibly set, though many of them are of course for niche settings or configurations. The home named argument is important though, because that's the main argument you must set for material app to define which kind of widget, which kind of UI element should be displayed inside of that app UI that's passed to run app. And here I want to display some text by using the built-in text widget, which is written like this and which is also executed like a function. Just like material app, text is coming from Flutter and provided by the Flutter team.